Hey guys, Chris here. Today we're doing the long trip test in the brand new Mercedes EQE SUV 350 4MATIC. So today we're going to find out how good or bad this performs while taken on a long trip. Today's route 610 kilometers or 400 miles from Oslo to the south of Norway to Kristiansand and then back again. Most of this trip is done on motorways with 110 kilometers an hour speed limits, and at the end of the video we're going to rank this car according to how many minutes we had to spend charging to complete today's route. So this car didn't do the best in my range test the other day. Actually, a little bit disappointing compared to the new Q8 e-tron from Audi, or rather the facelifted Q8 e-tron. I was hoping this would do a little bit better, but the conditions weren't the best. We had a little bit of rain, but also quite cold and mild temperatures for being, well, in August here in Oslo. Today, the weather is better, 19 degrees Celsius. We have dry roads, and hopefully we'll see as high as 22 to 23 degrees Celsius on today's route. So better conditions should give this car a better chance of doing better than the Audi in consumption, at least I'm hoping. So we're almost at 100% now. Once we get there, I'm gonna get on the way and I'll see you guys on the road.
I just wanna have fun. Come and pick me up, meet me at the spot. Up all night till the sunrise. Pop back cool, get ready for the ride. Don't it feel good? Don't it feel good?
The new EQE SUV is quickly becoming one of my favorite cars. So I like this smaller size of EQ products, the EQE 53 AMG, the sedan I drove a few months back. I really liked, and hopefully Mercedes will loan me one when I go to the International Auto Show in September in Munich in Germany. So if you don't want to miss out when I go on that trip, subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell, and also give this video a thumbs up if you're liking the content. So now we're approaching the end of the 4-lane motorway for this section, and we've been on the road for an hour and an hour and 9 minutes, as you guys can see here. And average consumption 23.4 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. That is not too shabby. That is not too shabby. Up here, they're also constructing further of this motorway. In a few years, they're building like a new bridge here, a new tunnel, and a new bridge. So it's going to take a few years, but they are very well on the way, as you guys can see over here. Once we approach the 2-lane section here, you'll see cranes and stuff like that over there. In the meantime, before we get there, I'll show you that the car is telling us that we'll arrive in 176 kilometers at 17 minutes past 3, but it doesn't tell us how many percentage. It just keeps on calculating, like optimizing route, which is really weird, because in some cars, some Mercedes EQ products, it will actually show us the percentage we're gonna arrive with, but not here, not now. Another cool thing that I'm going to show you guys later is if we go into the EQ menu here, which is here on the display, or on the console here, it will show you the peak charging speed here at 68%, which is 76 kilowatts. That is pretty cool. So here you can see the construction of, they're doing a new bridge over here, and then they're doing a new bridge on the other side, so like 3 new bridges. So this is going to be finished in a few years. We're going to have another 20 kilometers or whatever of motorway to the other section of like 20-30 kilometers in the motorway. So in total, we'll be going like an extra, what's that, 50 kilometers from where we're at now. Oh, something's happened. Hope not an accident. What's going on here? Did somebody crash? No, doesn't look like that, thankfully. So we're going to continue on now. We are about, what was I saying? That's about 2 hours from Kristiansand. So we're going to be able to go there without any problems at all. We're probably going to be able to go about 100 kilometers in the direction back towards Oslo again. Not sure where that puts us yet. I'm guessing maybe we can stop at the Rogde chargers by Stoa in Arendal. But we'll have to see. We'll have to see once we get to Kristiansand, calibrate there, see how much range we have left, and find out where we're gonna do the one charging stop. I think we're gonna be able to do this with one charging stop only.
I just wanna have fun. Come and pick me up, meet me at the spot. Up all night to the sunrise. Pop back cool, get ready for the ride. Gonna feel good. Gonna feel good.
We're now in Kristiansand, guys, but there's some crazy traffic going into downtown, so we're gonna cut this trip a few kilometers short. I mean, we're about 1 kilometer, but I've been sitting for the past 500 meters. I've been sitting for like 10 minutes, so that's like another 20-minute detour. I'm not gonna do that. So we're gonna take an exit here, and then this trip's gonna be a few kilometers, like 2.5 kilometers shorter than it usually is. But yeah, I don't want to sit in that traffic in a tunnel. Nice weather here though, 21 degrees Celsius, and our average consumption is down to 22.1 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. And also there's something up with the navigation system here with the route planner, because it's just stuck at optimizing route. It doesn't want to, you know, tell me where to charge and how much percentage I'm going to arrive with, no matter what destination I put in. I tried to put in Bergen, 500 kilometers away, and it's like, yeah, you're going to be there then. Checked all the settings, everything should be good, like choose charger, do route planning and everything, but the car just doesn't want to do that, so I don't know. But I've now set the navigation system to Brokelandsheia, which is 110 kilometers away. According to the car, we have 117 kilometers of range, 116 now, so not sure we're going to be able to make it. The wind from Oslo down to Larvik, we had a tailwind of 4 meters per second, but once we hit the coast and started moving southwest, that is a crosswind. So we should have a crosswind on our way back, and if we're lucky, we can make it to the new Circle K charters in Brokelandsheia, which is what I want to try to reach. If not, well, we have the recharge charters in Tvedestrand, or we have the Ragde charters in Arendal. The problem with those recharge charters, these are like the first Campfire charters that came out. They peak at like 350 amps, and with this battery pack, that means, I mean the voltage in this battery pack, that means we're not going to be getting more than like 130 kilowatts. So it's better for us to stop earlier to go to the Ragde charters, where we'll probably get that peak of 170 or close to that, or we can try to YOLO it and go to Brokelandsheia. Those are 225 kilowatt charger, 250 kilowatt charger. So not sure yet. Once we get going, and you know, I can see we have a buffer of 6 kilometers now. If that, you know, goes down to 0 or minus, then we'll abort. If that stays steady or starts climbing, we may be able to make it to Brokelandsheia. Crossing my fingers for that. Okay, we are 1.2 kilometers away from the exit to Brokelandsheia, so we are going to go to the Circle K charters. We're going to make it 1% state of charge with 5 kilometers of range left and 1.6 kilometers to the charger. That is impressive. That is not bad at all. And also check this out, guys, 22.0 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers and 403 kilometers covered. 404 kilometers covered. That is pretty impressive. Okay, so we have the new chargers right over here. Wow, 4 of these Alpitronic hyperchargers with 2 connectors each. And this guy in this rental RAV4 just stops in the middle of the road. People just don't care about other people on the road. So we're gonna go over here. Yeah, this is pretty nice. This guy also, he saw us. So we're gonna do a U-turn here. This car has rear steer. So check this out. This is no problem at all. 350 kilowatt chargers. So did I say 1%? We're actually at 2% now. Did we regen another percentage? Wow, that's not bad. So we're now connected to the charger here, and before I go over and show you guys the actual charging speed we're getting, I just want to give a huge thanks to today's video sponsor, which is Elton. Elton is the most awesome charging app if you live in Norway, Sweden, Finland, or Denmark, or you plan on traveling in any of these countries with an electric car, because one charging app, one map interface, one app interface, one payment method will let you charge at almost all charge point operators in all of these countries. Like the Circle K chargers, you can go to Ionity chargers, Recharge chargers, Kopplet chargers, a lot of different chargers. So if you want to support the channel and if you want the best charging app that you can use in all of these countries, go to the link in the description box down below. So with that out of the way, let's go overhead here and check out the speed we're getting now. So we're getting 161.4 kilowatts. That is pretty good. So with this charging speed, and since we are, so how far are we away? Less than 200 kilometers. I think we're about 190 kilometers away from our endpoint. Not sure how many percentage we're gonna have to go to. So let's hop into the car. Maybe the car can tell us, even though it's been a little bit wonky with the route planning. Usually the route planning of these Mercedes is really good. And you know, I told you guys the last update when we were in Kristiansand that we had about a 6 kilometer buffer. That went up to 10, 12, and then it went down again a little bit when we got closer and we're driving at a little bit higher speed. So what we're gonna do now is that we're charging here now, and we're gonna navigate to where we're gonna go, and that is Esso. Yeah, if I can do this correctly. Esso, Släp, and so that's our destination. So if we're lucky now, this is gonna work properly. Usually I've never had issues with this before in any other Mercedes, but it should show optimizing route here. And then after a while, it should, you know, tell us where to stop and charge. It's giving us traffic, but it's just stuck on this screen. I mean, but this interface is super nice. We have the charging speed here, we have the percentage. It's gonna take us an hour and 2 minutes to go to 100%, but we're not gonna go to 100%. We're gonna go to, not sure. The car should give us, I just had an EQS SUV on loan and went over to Bergen. This worked perfectly. Not sure what's going on here. I tried going to settings, that didn't work. So what we're gonna do, so I can't give you guys an answer now, but if you look at the range here, right? So that was the range we were referencing when we went here from Kristiansand, right? So what we're gonna do is that I'm gonna charge until that range, I don't know, maybe a buffer of 20 kilometers, right? Buffer of 20 kilometers, so when that's showing 214, let's round it up, 215 kilometers of range, then we have enough juice, and then we're gonna get on our way. We already have 44 kilometers of range, so this is gonna be a quick charging session.
I just wanna have fun. Come and pick me up, meet me at the spot. Up all night to the sunrise. Pop back cool, get ready for the ride. Gonna feel good. Gonna feel good.
Welcome back to our starting point back here at Esso in Släppen, where we started this test earlier today. So we arrived here with 6% battery and 26 kilometers of range left. So I was planning on charging to around 50%. I charged to 52% just to have a little bit of an extra buffer in case, you know, the wind map was correct and that tailwind on our way down of 4 meters per second would be a headwind of 4 meters per second on our way back. But I don't think that was accurate. Conditions were really nice. No wind outside to my knowledge. I mean, it's completely calm outside now. Dry weather and around 20 degrees Celsius outside now. So very good conditions. And we also had an average consumption of 22.0 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. And that is a bit of a redemption. If you saw my range test with this car, go check that video out if you're interested to see what kind of range I got with this car on the motorway. Today's test, we have a little bit lower speed than that car, a little bit lower average speed according to the car, 94 kilometers an hour, and we had a little bit of traffic in Kristiansand. So usually we're at around 97 or 98 if we have no traffic in this test, maybe even 99. So a little bit slower average speed than in the motorway range test where we have, a measured, actual, timed and measured average speed of around 112 to 115 kilometers an hour, depending on the car. But this car had lower consumption now than the Q8 e-tron 55 I did the exact same test with. And in the range test, this car had higher consumption than that car. So that is interesting. I think the conditions today suit this car better, around 20 degrees Celsius. And when we did that run in that Q8 e-tron 55, it was quite warm that day, between like 24 and 27, 28 degrees Celsius. So you have the AC running higher. In this test, we don't have the AC running higher, and also the battery is at a better operating temperature. So I think under the right conditions in the real world, this car is more efficient than the Q8 e-tron. But I haven't done the test with the Q8 e-tron 50, which would be closer to this car with the same battery pack size, both 89 kilowatt hours of usable capacity. I was going to do that test, but we had a storm here in Norway about a week to half a week ago, and no point in doing a long trip test when the weather is terrible. You're not going to get, any real world results unless you drive in storms every day. I don't think a lot of you do that. So with that out of the way, just, I wanted to get that out to you guys. Like, this car is more efficient than that Q8 e-tron in this test under these conditions, at least. So with that out of the way, you guys are here at the end of the video because you want to know how many minutes this car spent charging. So the EQE SUV 354 Matic on the long trip test spent 20 minutes charging, 20 minutes dead. And if you look at the chart, that is 1 minute less than the Q8 e-tron 55, the new one, on also 22-inch wheels. And you're like, how is that even possible? Well, yet again, there is a little bit of a caveat. So the time of these two cars are accurate. This is what was the best charging time I was able to do under these conditions these days. But in the 2 months since I did that test, almost 2 months ago, I did that test with the Q8 e-tron 55. The charger we charged at today in Brooklandsheia wasn't open. I think they were like building that charging station, but it hadn't opened yet. So we had to stop at an earlier charger. I think we stopped at like 17% stated charge. But if that charger was open, if we had the same conditions as today, I'm pretty sure that car with a bigger battery, less efficient though, but with a bigger battery, would have no problems arriving at the charging station we were at today, and possibly arriving there with more percentage, meaning a little bit of a shorter charging time. Also, we didn't have to go to that many percent, so it probably would have done it a little bit faster. So maybe you're gonna do that test again. So yeah, those are the results. Either way, this is pretty impressive. 20 minutes charging to go 610 kilometers or 400 miles at relatively high speeds. Yeah, not bad at all. So I'm pretty satisfied with that result, guys. So guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please drop me a thumbs up down below, and for more car content, as always, please subscribe. See you guys later, and goodbye.